Welcome to the Daily Thunder podcast. I am your host, Brandon Rahbar, beat writer for dailythunder.com. I am joined by Ryan Woods, contributor to dailythunder.com, and we're here to rapid react to the Thunder's first official game back in the restart, 110-94 over the Utah Jazz, a continuation from March 11th. Postponement finally got this game in the books, and what were your overall thoughts, Ryan?
We're back. What a game. It was really fun to see exactly what would have happened on March 11th, a royal beatdown of the Jazz from the Thunder. An amazing game.
Yeah, and if Jazz fans are wanting to be like, well, yeah, but we didn't have Bogdanovich and we would have March 11th. But, yeah, you weren't going to have Rudy Gobert on March 11th. So, come on, guys.
And I do want to start with a sincere apology to Hamidou Diallo, who I was incredibly wrong about. I was shocked when he came off the bench. The first guard with Schroeder off the bench, I legitimately did not think he was going to play.
Well, first of all, you're not the only one that owes him an apology. I think a lot of Thunder fans do. Not only that, you weren't the only one shocked. I was completely blown away. I expected, obviously, Schroeder would come in first, but I expected Robertson to come in off the bench first. And then if Robertson wasn't, I thought Nader would come in off the bench before Diallo, maybe Ferguson. So, yeah, that blew me. I did not see Diallo making the regular rotation and getting meaningful minutes. And especially he played – Robertson only played 5 minutes. Diallo played many more minutes than he did. Now, I wonder if he would have played more in the second half had it been a close game. We don't know. Mm-hmm. Robertson did get to close out the first half. But Hami, he comes in. One, it surprised me he's playing. Then he hits 2 3-pointers. Both of them, he shot 2 and hit 2.
Yeah.
The threes.
It was awesome. And it goes to show you Donovan's got his trust in Diallo right now. That's the name of the game when it comes to this part of the season is who does the coach trust to put out there. And Diallo is showing him something, and it has to be on the defensive end. He really did a number on Jordan Clarkson, and I felt like that's why he was in the game when he was to slow down the Jazz as one of their only sparks off the bench in Jordan Clarkson, who I saw a stat he's played like in the minimal minutes he's played so far in the bubble. He's taken 30 shots. Like he's shooting the ball so much. And so the ball's going through him when he's on the floor and he's been really good, but watching Diallo today on him was really fun and very surprising, and even more surprising, the 2 threes. You just never expect Diallo's shots to go in, and they were falling today, as was everyone's. Everybody's shot was falling. Dort, I don't know if Dort hit one. Shea hit a couple.
Yeah,
really good.
Dort did hit one. I know Shea was 2 of 5. I think Dort was like 1 of 4, 1 of 5. But they all looked good as well. Like the form and the release for Dort was good, even if he only hit one. Here's the deal. All those guys you just mentioned were the young guys. Like the Thunder 2.0 guys. And that's the thing about this team. There's been this long layoff, and it's really kind of been like an off season. Lengthwise. Mm-hmm. And so you'd hope that some of these guys, if they're coming in for season 2 or season 3, would be improved. And we're seeing that, and it's benefiting the Thunder so much because, maybe their biggest weakness, if you're going to point to a weakness for the Thunder, was after the first 6 or so guys, the guys that would play 7 through 10, they were young, inexperienced, couldn't shoot, couldn't really rely on them. And now you got Robertson back, and now you got guys like Bazley, Diallo, and Dort, who look to have taken a leap. So all of a sudden you're playing that 1 through 10, 1 through 11, 1 through 12, and you can trust these guys. It makes a huge difference in these games.
Yeah, 10 guys played in the first half, which I thought we'd see 7 or 8 guys, like you're saying. And maybe we will in a couple of weeks when the playoffs start. Maybe that does shrink a little bit. But, yeah, there's a legitimate 10-man rotation on this team now, especially if Diallo is going to play. And it was fun to watch. The young guys look great. I think the young guys are feeding off the veterans, and we've talked about that before. But Chris Paul's doing an amazing job empowering these guys and bringing them along, not just hey, come along for our ride. It's important that they play well. It's vital to this team that every guy contributes. It's been a mantra all season long.
Speaking of Chris Paul, it was great to see him play so well tonight, because he and Gallinari were the two guys who looked like they didn't really, show out yet in the scrimmages. They looked a little bit rusty, but tonight they both played great. I know that Chris Paul had 18, 7, and 7, flirted with a triple-double. Might have got there if it wasn't such a big blowout. And then Gallinari looked really good. So then you got their experience. Speaking of Chris Paul, what I've loved about this team is the team chemistry and what a great leader he's been for these guys, both on and off the court. And something I was telling someone earlier is the thing with this team is how smart they are. That's what jumps out to me. And I know that Chris Paul is one of the smartest players of all time, and it's rubbing off on these guys. And I think Donovan deserves a lot of credit. A lot of these vets, Gallinari, Adams, they're smart guys. But the crazy thing is these young guys are playing so smart as well. I mean, they don't waste possessions. They don't really take bad shots. There's not dumb turnovers. There are a lot of turnovers today, but they're not of the variety where you just like get mad about it, like, oh, a little rust or sloppy play or just a bad pass. But no, low IQ plays. And it's tough to beat a team when the effort is high and they're not wasting possessions.
Totally. And I think there's a poise and a patience, a resolve to these young guys that is well beyond their NBA years. And I was talking to someone earlier. I liken it to, I guess, like ignorance is bliss. Like we Thunder fans, we've built up some scar tissue over the years in ugly playoff losses, and so it's easy for us to think back to those. These young guys haven't been in that, and it's like they don't know where the bodies are buried, and so they're able to play freely. They're able to move. They're able to move around and trust a guy like Chris Paul to get him where they want to go. And I think there's a calmness to the team that just hasn't been there before.
I don't want to risk overhyping this game, but when you look at the scrimmages where the Thunder went 3-0 for various different reasons, and then this game though was a 29-point game. The Jazz were the number 4 seed coming into this. Yeah, they were down Bogdanovich, but they still have 2 All-Stars in Gobert and Mitchell. They still have Mike Conley. They still have Ingles. They still have Jordan Clarkson and some other decent bench pieces. And this was a thorough beating that the Thunder gave them. Do you think it's possible that this Thunder team is the 3rd best team in the West?
I definitely think you can make that case. I think Houston's really good, but I think it's between those two teams. I think Denver is still they looked rough today, missing quite a few perimeter guys. If they're not going to get back to where they were, which time will tell, but if they're going to be without these guys for much longer, and Utah is an Alvin Gentry, brain fart away from being 0-2.
Yeah.
In the bubble so far, they just haven't looked very good. They kind of look how people expected them to look. A team with some discontent amongst their 2 best players and missing a key piece in their starting lineup, and just kind of thin from 6 through 10. It's very interesting. I think the Thunder have a very strong case for the best team not in LA.
The Thunder play the Nuggets on Monday night. The Rockets play the Bucks, I think tomorrow, and then the Lakers play the Jazz on Monday. If those all go the way that I would say each of them would be favored to go, the Thunder will be a half a game out of the 3 seed in the West come Monday night. That is nuts for a team that was supposed to tank this year. I mean, just absolutely nuts.
It's unbelievable.
Now we've gone.
Go ahead. Well, to think back to the day that Russ was traded, I mean, that team was, what were they last year? The 3 seed? Where they finish at?
I think they finished at the 4 seed. And golly, I'm getting all my years confused.
I know. I'm blanking. but yeah, like to think that the day of the Rush trade, if you'd have said, hey, yeah, but they're gonna be the 3 seed, like it's impossible that they could be challenging the 3 seed going into the playoffs.
It's hard to remember because they were the 3 seed for a long time, and then they fell off after the All-Star break because of the injuries to Paul George. They might have even fallen to 5, man.
I think they were 6 actually
Yeah,
because
I was gonna say, because they were 6 and everybody was pumped because they got Portland, who was without Nurkic,
and
and
we were
everybody
out
thought
of
they were gonna win.
and
Yeah,
we
they
were out of we were out of Golden State's bracket.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, everybody's pumped because they got the 6 seed. Yep, that's what it was. Okay, so we got to talk about Gobert and Mitchell, the All Stars from the Jazz, going up against their non-All Star contemporaries, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Steven Adams. And quite honestly, SGA and Adams just thoroughly outplayed both those guys today.
And the non-All-Star tag will not that will not be a part of Shea's resume for much longer.
That's right.
He's on his way. Yeah, I thought Mitchell was he's got to do so much for their offense with Bogdanovich out, and he wasn't able to do that because the Thunder's best defender, Lou Dort, was all over him in the first half.
Oh, you're gonna say best defender? You're gonna throw that down, that
I'll
gauntlet
say
down
it.
over Dre, Noel, and Adams?
I'll say it. Lou Dort, the best defender on Oklahoma City. He just his lateral movement, his strength around. You can't screen the guy. He's so fast laterally, and he's so strong. He's such a physical presence out on the perimeter that the Jazz funnel guys to Gobert, and Oklahoma City just stonewalls guys at the 3-point line. It's a very seemingly they have a guy that they could funnel guys to, but they just never get to Adams. It's SGA or it's Chris Paul or it's Dort or now Robertson. Like there's such a perimeter heavy team with really really good defenders.
Yeah, I mean, Dort is just exciting to watch. I think his defense, like you said, has been so good. Everybody knows that, and like you said, his body and his quickness. I mean, it's just freaky how good he is for being an undrafted rookie free agent. But his offense is coming along. He's just so exciting for the future. But like you said, that defense, the Oklahoma City defense, was just kind of smothering today. They couldn't do anything. Obviously, when you got Dort and Robertson to throw at people, I mean that's an advantage not many teams have. But you don't lose anything on the other side when you got Chris Paul, who's a great defender. You got SGA, who's a plus defender. You got a lot of two-way guys or seemingly two-way guys now on the Thunder. And that's really, when you look over the history of the Thunder, that's been their Achilles heel. They've got great defenders who can't shoot, or they've got guys who can score, but they can't defend worth a lick. That's a big thing that nobody's talking about this season is the amount of two-way guys. And even if somebody isn't great at one thing, they at least don't completely suck, which is a big thing and different than past seasons.
Right. And something like you're saying with two-way guys and multiple guys that can make plays, it's seemingly something that Donovan loves to have out there. But early in the game, Chris Paul used an Adams screen, and they went to one side of the floor, and it just what they wanted wasn't there. And it came back out to SGA, and he was by himself on the other side of the floor. And it was just a little bit of patience, not forcing something, turned into SGA on an island with a guy that he can go by. And that speaks to this team having multiple guys that can make plays. And there's another one on the floor in Lou Dort who is showing more and more that he can get by guys and is comfortable making plays in the lane, which is incredibly exciting. And then Schroeder, obviously, he didn't have his best game today, but he was still really solid, especially on the defensive end. And I think that's the key to that 3-guard lineup is they have multiple guys who can do a lot of things, a lot of playmaking, a lot of shooting, and they can break down a defense.
It's exciting. This game was exciting, and it's exciting for the restart because this Thunder team really could, it surprised people all season long, and I think that they can continue to surprise people. They may flirt with a 3 or 4 seed, which would just be unreal. And hey, if for some reason the bottom falls out and they lose and they fall down to the 6 or 7 seed, well, then they get the first round draft pick back. So it's a win-win. Lots of reasons to be excited.
It's going to be interesting to see when Schroeder has to leave and what the team is hoping for. Is it better that he goes now and gets back for the early parts of the first round, or is it better that he stays and they climb up in the standings a bit before he has to go? I'm interested to see how his departure affects this team.
It's interesting because I honestly think as long as you avoid the 2 LA teams in the first round, it doesn't matter too much who you play. Obviously, you'd prefer the Jazz or the Mavs over the Nuggets or Rockets, but I really think for this Thunder team, they can beat any one of those teams. I would probably say I'd first want the Jazz, then the Mavs, then the Rockets still scare me, even though I think the Thunder
I know
they're outsized. I'd probably still rather play the Nuggets than the Rockets. And especially the playoff experience with the Nuggets, what we've seen from them in the past, and they're hurting, and they're short, and they don't have that. Another thing that makes them so good was their home court advantage and that elevation, and that's completely gone now as well.
Totally, that's a good point. And watching Harden go for 23 in the first quarter last night, I was like, I can do without this in the first round. If it's in the second round, fine.
Yeah. Although the Mavs don't have anybody like Lou Dort or Andre Robertson to throw at Harden, but
that's so true.
And honestly, that to me, that makes me feel a lot better about that matchup because of those two guys on Harden and Russ. And then, the size disadvantage for the Rockets. I mean, the Thunder just have so many more bigs than they do. So basically what we're saying here is the Thunder are going to beat anybody they play in the first round. And then either the LA teams better, watch out.
I think what we're saying is plan the parade.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the day off.
People, I do the cross bolts with Olivia, and I've been accused of sunshine pumping in the past. And then, I get Olivia on, and she like sometimes out sunshine pumps me as like a marvel. I can't believe it. And now my rapid reactions partner, Ryan, a fellow sunshine pumper. So I appreciate that.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid today. We've waited long enough for this game, and it went exactly how you'd want it to. And it's a bit of a gloating day,
It is. It really is.
We'll come back down at some point.
Thank you guys so much for listening today. We'll have another one of these rapid reacts after the Thunder Nuggets game, and the Thunder are 0.5 games behind for the 3 seed come Monday night. Thank you for listening to the Daily Thunder podcast.
Cheers.
Perfect. All right, man. That was great.